Welcome to my application, which is an Express.js API configured to interact with a MySQL database using SQLize. It is a backend for an e-commerce application. So first thing we're going to do here is we are going to create and connect to our development database using MySQL. So I'm going to log into MySQL using information that is stored in my .env file, which I will not show you because that's secret information. But here, once we are logged into MySQL, I am going to run show databases to see that my database has been created, and it's the first one here, e-commerce DB. So now I'm going to tell MySQL to use e-commerce DB, and then I'm going to spell it correctly, e-commerce DB. I'm going to spell it correctly, e-commerce DB. There we go, database has been changed. To double check that everything is in there correctly, I'm going to say show tables. There are tables. Now I'm going to quit MySQL so that I can seed the database with some predefined information in these files by running npm run seed. And as you can see, all of the data has been seeded into the database. And to invoke the application, I'm going to run npm start so that we are connected to the server, and the SQLize models up in here have been synced to the database. And as you can see, that worked. We are now listening on port 3001. And to test the routes that I have created, we're going to go into Insomnia Core, and we'll start with the get routes to get all of the products from that seed data. We're going to run a simple get request, and as you can see here, it returns all of the products and their associated data. And if we want to just get the information for one product, we can choose which product ID we would like to look up. And if we run that get request again with the associated ID, we get the information for that product and its corresponding data here. Same thing with categories. If we run a get request here at the categories route, we will see that all of the categories and their associated information are returned. And to just get information on a single category, we add the ID of that category to the route here and run the request again, and there's the information for that singular category. And for tags, we will do the same thing. All tags are returned, and we just want information on one tag. We put in that tag's ID, and there's the information there. Now let's create some new data. To do so, we will go in here and run this post request with the associated tag name that we want to create. I'm going to call this popular music, and I'm going to run it, and we can see that a new tag with the ID of 9 has been created. Let's double check that it worked by doing a get request for all tags. And if we scroll down to the bottom here, we can see that this tag, popular music, has been created with the ID of 9. And we will do the same thing for categories. Add a new category called vinyl records. And I'm going to run that request here, and we can see that a new category called vinyl records with the ID of 6 has been created. Double check, let's just run a GET request again. And if we scroll down here, we can see that this category of vinyl records has been created. And now to create a product, we will do this here. We'll say we're gonna put in a Michael Jackson record, and it's gonna cost $25.50. And we are going to put a tag ID of, what was that tag I created? 9 in here. And we will go ahead and send this, and we can see that the product with the ID of 6 has been created with tag ID of 9. And to double check here, we will get the information for product with the ID of 6. Here we are. We have Michael Jackson record with the popular music tag. And now if we want to delete this product because it was sold, we can delete the product with a delete request using the product's associated ID. If we send that, we'll see that one row has been affected, and to double check that it's gone, we will get all products, scroll down here, and as you can see, there is no more Michael Jackson record with the product ID of 6. And since we're no longer using that record, let's get rid of its tag. This popular music tag, we no longer need it. It's got an ID of 9, so we're going to run a delete request with the associated ID of 9. And we run it, and we can see that one row has been affected. And to double check, we will get all of our tags, scroll down here, and the last tag that we have is 8. And that is my application. Thank you for watching and listening.